Hello everyone, it's Darlo back with another Sims 3 speed build. Today my inspiration was those beachfront mansions on Nantucket that I keep seeing pop up on my feed. You know, those classic coastal homes with crisp white trim, weathered shingles, and beautiful pools overlooking the beach that just scream summer escape. I really wanted to channel that breezy, upscale vibe in this build while still keeping it functional for gameplay too. I've always loved that classic New England coastal look, and I wanted to try and capture that vibe in The Sims 3. So let's talk about how it all came together. So I started with the basic shape of the house. I wanted it to feel like a traditional mansion, but not in a huge, overwhelming way. Something grand, but still cozy. I used a lot of rectangular sections that build out from a central base, almost like the house expanded over time, which is something you see a lot in real-life Nantucket homes. Of course, keeping that signature Nantucket symmetry in mind. And you'll notice I didn't go super tall, just 2 main stories and an attic space. I think keeping the profile low makes it feel more grounded, more beachy. For the roofing, I played around a bit. I used a lot of gable roofs in various orientations, create a little variation. Nothing too modern, but just enough to give it character. The dormers were a must. I think they add that perfect touch of classic architecture without being too fussy. Now let's talk materials. I went for the classic weathered shingle siding, kind of that soft grayish tone that looks like it's been faded gently by salty air and the sun. It's such a staple of Nantucket architecture, and I think it really helps sell the coastal feel of the house. For the trim, I kept it simple and clean, bright white to contrast with the shingles and make everything feel fresh. The windows were actually something I spent way too much time on. I wanted them to feel symmetrical from the front, still practical for gameplay, of course. Oh my gosh, watching this back, I can't believe just how much I went back and forth with the windows. I did finally end up going with the windows with the brown trim, which I think complements the roof very well, and I'm very happy with how it turns out. Gives it more of a natural feel than I think the white trim did. For landscaping, I kept things pretty tame, partly to just stay true to Nantucket in real life. Not much grows on sand, but also I didn't want to distract from the house itself. I used a mix of both shrubs and hydrangeas. Always hydrangeas, they just scream New England summer to me. And then just a mix of really colorful flowers that I think someone might plant for their summer. The hydrangeas wrap around to the backyard, which I haven't touched yet, but just you wait. Of course, there has to be a beautiful porch in the backyard, overlooking the water. I just imagine my Sims drinking some iced tea and watching the waves roll in. It was really important for me to add a balcony to this home, mainly because balconies just scream elegance to me. Of course, if we're going for elegance, I had to make a few adjustments to really achieve that. The backyard definitely gives it more of a modern feel, which I like seeing the contrast between the classic coastal with a touch of modern. In the backyard, the deck steps right down into the pool, and that's where I imagine most of a summer is spent. The pool is simple and rectangular, but also very clean looking. There's gotta be an easier way to make a floating platform, but for now I did it the manual way. And I really like how it turned out. I think those long piers going out into the ocean is just such a classic beach house look. There's plenty of room for a grill, some loungers, just lots of fun. When I build houses like this, I always imagine the kind of family that lives there. For this one, I was picturing a generational home, like grandparents who bought the place decades ago, and now the kids and grandkids all come back every summer. I think that's why I leaned into the classic style so much. It's elegant but not flashy, and I also tried to avoid making it too perfect. You know, some of the bushes are a little wild. Some of the bushes aren't aligned so perfectly, you know, because real homes have quirks, and that's what makes them feel real in-game too. This was all built with just the base game, no custom content in this one. I think it's so amazing what you can do with just the basics. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this build come together as much as I enjoyed creating it. I am very pleased with how this build came together, and the way the back of the house opens up, I just love that. It's like this house knows it's got beachfront views and isn't afraid to show them off. If you liked this video, feel free to leave a comment. Tell me what kind of vibe you're getting from it, or what kind of Sims family you'd move in. And if you have ideas for future builds, you know, more coastal homes, something completely different, please drop them below. Thanks again for hanging out with me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.